All right, all right. We are here today in Belmar with a very special guest. He's a client. He's become a friend. We have Joe Carfagno from Carfagno Professional Painting. Good morning, Joe. How are you today?
Good morning, Tom. I'm doing very well. Thank you.
Thank you for coming in today. Thanks for finding the place. It was a little bit tricky, huh?
A little bit, yeah.
The Google Maps 801 Main is very funny because Beach House is 801 Main, as well as all the stores on the backside of 801 Main. So in the future, we'll have to make sure that we let the guests know so that you're not walking up and down Main Street. But thank you for coming in today.
Yeah, thank you. It's a pleasure to be on, Tom.
It's and we met each other probably 6-8 months ago now through one of the K-Chev networking events. You were there, and we started chatting. And the first thing I think we did for you was a brochure, right?
Exactly. Yeah, you did some brochures, and then
some pay-per-click advertising, managing that campaign, and the website, and SEO.
Yeah. So now you're full board.
Now we talk every month. So. And you work with Maddie on our team and Taylor, so that's great. So let's get right into it. You've been in business for a long time now.
I have, yeah, about 15 years.
15 years. You started out in Hunterdon County, and then you came south, huh?
Yeah, I started out in Hunterdon County about 15 years ago. I lived in Lebanon Borough.
Okay.
So I serviced like Lebanon Borough, Tewksbury, Clinton, Flemington. Mm-hmm. I did mostly all Hunterdon County. Mm-hmm. It's a lot different, that county, than Ocean County. There's a lot of mountains, a lot of farmland.
And some big houses over there.
Oh, yeah, some really big
houses. There's some houses that...
Yeah. So it was a good business. And I was kind of a smaller business back then. Mm-hmm. It was me and 3 guys.
And you were on the crew?
I was on the crew every day.
So and you were painting?
I was painting, yeah.
So at that point, you were running the crew, painting, and you were also doing your estimates and also making the sales for the next job, right?
Exactly, yeah. So back then, advertising was a little different. It wasn't as much Facebook, Instagram oriented. Mm-hmm. You know, I think I started out with maybe Yelp and other lead sources, you know, and it grew from there. Like back then, I was getting a lot of work, you know, but I only needed 1 job a week back then.
Sure.
You know.
Well, much smaller crew, much smaller overhead.
Exactly.
Much easier to manage. Now you're in the belly of the beast there now. You know, everybody wants to add, and then they don't realize every Friday is a bigger number.
Exactly. Well, I progressively added. It was slow, you know.
Slow and steady wins the race.
But for the first 7-8 years in Hunterdon County, like I said, I started out with me, and it was actually the first couple months, it was me and 1 guy. Uh-huh. All right, and then I hired a second guy. This guy that I had with me had a cousin. So I'm like, okay, bring him in. And I had a small Chevy S10, right, with a cap in the back with ladder racks. Yep. And that lasted me 5 years.
Wow.
You know? Yeah, I kept the guys going, and then I got another pickup. And being in Ocean County, I had a daughter that lived in Cape May County. Mm-hmm. So that was 3-hour ride each week one way.
From Hunterdon.
From Hunterdon County. So that started I was getting taxing. So what I did was I advertised in Ocean County because that was like a median point. It was only an hour away. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to go back down to Cape May County. It really is not a year-round area, you know. So I advertised in Ocean County. My calendar filled up for 2 months. I'm like, this is the time to go. And I went, I hired 1 guy who was actually a friend of mine that lived in Ocean County. Mm-hmm. And me and him started down here for about 2 months. And then I hired another guy. We went on with me and 2 guys for about 6 months. And then I started getting busier and busier. And then I started learning about Facebook advertising and then other forms of advertising. Mm-hmm. And started doing door hangers, you know, like whatever I had to do. I wanted to evolve. I didn't want to be working in my business. I wanted to work on the business, as we talked about. And but I didn't really know how to do that at first, you know. So I had to surround myself with people who were better than me, who had more than me, who were smarter than I have, you know. Like I tell you, like you show me your 5 closest friends, and I'll tell you where you're going to be in 5 years.
Yep.
Right. So
where'd you start meeting some of these people?
Just networking. Just networking. You know.
So you started finding people, like-minded people that had good businesses, and started to see what they were doing.
Exactly. You know, before all this Facebook and everything started out, like I used to meet people in the paint store.
Yep.
You know, like I used to see like big company guys come in there. If I see the boss, I would talk to him. I would get to know them.
So you surrounded yourself with people to gain knowledge.
Exactly.
Great.
You know?
That's a really good way to do it. I mean, when you think about it, you got to learn.
Exactly. You know.
And the beautiful thing is now online, I mean, there's a ton of knowledge out there. You got to just now figure out what knowledge is the right knowledge. But, you know, you could pick up tidbits from a lot of people along the way with, you know, how to grow your business. And I think it's a mindset. I mean, because then you went from one crew to 2 crews.
Exactly.
So that's a big change. I mean, you just doubled your production, right?
Exactly.
Essentially.
Yeah. And with that, there comes a lot more responsibilities. You know, when I first did it, I had guys that, you know, we were just doing like, you know, I would pay them cash, and then I went to subcontractors. And now, you know, it's a totally different beast. You know, it's W-2s, and now you have, you know,
payroll tax.
You have payroll tax, right? You have
Social
workers'
Security,
compensation.
Workers' comp.
You have all that, you know. So
then next you're going to get into health insurance.
Exactly. Well, I'm looking in that in the next year.
Yep.
You know,
and you know, again, I mean, we have a very, even though we do different things, you know. Again, I started out as a one-man band. I was working by myself for the first 7 years I was in business, and I was like, oh, this is the greatest thing in the world. I'm just going to be a consultant, and then I hired one person, then I hired a second person, and now I have 21 people. So, you know, along the way, we've just done, you know, it's a similar thing. And, you know, I remember the first person saying to me, you know, it was a woman who's still on the staff. Shout out to Tony. She said to me, you know, Tom, I'm going to be turning 26. I got to get off my parents' health care. And I was like, health care? Like, you know, I just bought an open market plan for myself, you know, so I didn't even know anything about group benefits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I said to her, hang in there. We'll figure this out. We'll figure it out together. I remember we were having lunch at Lebrano's in Manasquan, and she's like, you know, I want to work here, but I need health benefits. And we figured it out, and we got health benefits. And then, you know, as time went on, we figured out how to do the, you know, an IRA and a 401k so that, you know, people could start saving for retirement. So, you know, again, as you grow, you just kind of keep learning new things.
Yeah. I think it's always a learning process. It never stops.
No.
You know.
And you got to. Otherwise, you know, again, if you stay still, like, you're going to be behind. You know,
exactly.
you got to keep getting better, and you got to keep learning. I always say you got to keep moving the goalpost, like, you know, like of what the next success equals.
I never want to be comfortable. I always want to just keep pushing
Yep.
that limit, you know. And I think that I learned to become comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
At this point, you know, I'm always
That is the comfort, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And like, you know, what I have planned for the next couple of years may seem really big in my eyes, but like the way I look at them is if my dreams don't scare me, then they're really not dreams.
That's fair.
You know?
And so now kind of talk about what's next. So right now you have 2 crews. Now you're going to be moving into an office warehouse, right?
Yeah, so I had just rented a commercial space garage. So we're going to set up like a spray booth in there for cabinets.
Oh, great.
Taking cabinets back. If people need doors painted, a lot of doors, we can't do them on site. We'll take them back to the shop.
And you'll spray them.
Bookshelves, different things, you know.
So it also opens up what you do, too, because now you can do more jobs than when you're just doing house painting.
Exactly. Yeah, and then also, too, it opens up for I could do multiple cabinet jobs at once. I'm not limited to one.
Yep, okay.
You know? And but I am limited to the amount of men I have.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I try to make sure that they're not overworked
Sure.
as well. You know, and then we also have an office. And then January, I plan on putting someone in the office to start doing some scheduling. I have a slew of paperwork that I have to do week in, week out that I can have them do for me, so that I could free up some of my time that I could do more sales. You know, and then going ahead a little further, in the next 6 months to a year, I plan on trying to find a sales guy, somebody that could do the estimates for me or with me.
Yep.
You know,
you still want to be able to do some of them, right?
of course. Yeah. You know, I always want to keep my hands in something.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and then you're going to end up getting 2 sales guys, and you can manage sales guys.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
So now, for the most part, you're not painting on the day-to-day.
No. My day, I set up the jobs in the morning. You know, I visit the guys. I ask them if they have any questions, if they need anything. You know, I'm really not so much as their boss, but I look at it as like I'm their coach. Like with Justin, my production manager. Like, you know, I try. Like we have our production meetings every week. You know, any concerns, any issues, any problems. And, we like to problem forecast, like what might be a problem in the future that we can have, and we try to figure out ways to resolve it, and that's how I treat my guys. Like I coach them, and I'm not really like they want to come to work because it's how you treat these guys. I believe that if I treat my employees well, they're going to treat my customers well.
Sure.
And that right there is everything in a nutshell.
Absolutely. And I'm sure that you get a lot of referral business too.
I do. Yeah, we do.
So, that's a testament of quality work. Mm-hmm. So now, once you have a sales guy and you have somebody in the office, your job's going to change now. You're going to have to start, generating more leads and going to more networkings and meeting more people to continue to
to grow. Yeah. I mean, eventually, I think I like to cap it at maybe 3 crews or 3.
Three crews of 3, so 9 guys painting every day.
9 guys painting every day, right?
And do you do interior and exterior?
I do. So we do 3 things.
Okay.
All right. First thing is we do cabinet refinishing. Mm-hmm. All right. So I have 2 guys that do that week in, week out. Every week they have a cabinet job they do. And then when they're done that, they fall in with I have a custom interior crew that does all custom interiors.
Okay.
And then in the fall, summer, and spring, I do exterior painting and power washing, And then next year, I plan to evolve a little bit where I have my one guy who does all my power washing, but I'm also going to add window cleaning to that power washing.
Okay.
And I want to just keep him from April to September, just power washing and window cleaning,
There's a need for that window cleaning because people don't want to get up on ladders.
No, absolutely not. And then also what we're going to do is, with my wife's help, is we're going to add cleaning. So after we paint your house, if you want my wife and her 2 girls to come in to give your house a nice cleaning from top to bottom, we can do that as well.
That's great to add on businesses.
Yeah, so just to add, just to try to evolve, Now,
does your wife have her own cleaning company, or this is going to just be part of you?
My wife's a school teacher, so she's been teaching school for 28 years.
Okay.
But before I met her, she was doing cleaning ones. She had like 7 clients that she would clean, So she's a hustler, my wife. And she also helps me with the business, like on weekends. And, there's a lot of times where I'm on a job and I need some help cleaning up.
Yep.
She'll come home, she'll put her whites on, and she'll come out and she'll help.
That's great. It's great to have a wife that's so supportive.
My wife Lucy is an amazing woman. I've been blessed by God to have her in my life.
That's great, and you need somebody, to help you kind of push through it, and because not every day is a great day.
No, they're not.
When you talk, for the first few minutes you've talked about the good of business, the great, the seeing the goals and the vision, and doing that. But you also have some setbacks and pain along the way.
Exactly. And I don't look at them anymore as having bad days. I mean, I may have bad moments in my day. I never consider a full day bad, And
it's a great mindset.
Exactly. And then also, when there's problems that come up, when you get cancellations, when there's a problem on the job, something happens, I'm solution oriented. I don't look at the problem, I look at the solution.
Okay.
And how we can fix this.
And how do you, since going to a solutions-oriented way, like, you feel better about the business on?
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, and my guys understand. Mistakes happen, accidents happen. I never really hold anybody like, well, this is your fault, this happened, unless it was a really but we don't really have them. And we learn from it.
You work through it.
We work through it.
And work as a team.
Exactly.
And you're the coach, kind of giving some direction around that, not pointing the finger at them.
No, I never point the finger at anybody. We always work together as a team.
Collaborative. Let's come up with the solution here.
Exactly. Yeah.
So now, what do you think finishing 24, and I feel like 24 was a strong year for you from what you've told me.
Yes.
As you go into 25, what are some of the things that again you're opening the office, you're hiring some people, and when do you think you're going to get to that 3rd crew?
I'm thinking probably midway 2025. That I can put another crew on the road. I like to move a little slow. And make sure that now that we're moving into the office, I want to get an office girl, or or whoever it is. I shouldn't say office girl, but
Office dude.
Yeah, office dude.
Anyone that can help make your life easier.
Exactly.
Alleviate paperwork, answer phone calls.
Yeah.
Get it done.
So, it's like when I added on my second krill, I just had to get comfortable. So I just want to get comfortable where I'm at and then move on to the next phase,
That's a great way to do it so you don't overextend yourself either.
Exactly. And like as we were talking earlier, it's all about the mindset, I think being a business owner, one of the most important things is my mindset, just making sure that, having goals, and I don't really set goals like 1 year, 3 year, 5 years. I set goals, 120-day goals every 4 months.
Okay. So you have 3 goals a year for the
3 goals a year. And so after 120 days is up, my wife and I, we take a week break.
Oh, nice.
And we'll go away somewhere,
Have you been able to great lately?
Well, we were in Italy
awesome.
In August, yeah. So my wife is from Sicily.
Okay.
And we went to her hometown. Her parents still own property there, so we were able to stay at their house.
It's great.
Yeah, so we had a really nice time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you.
So I break my year down in 120-day increments,
Where's the next trip?
I'm not sure. I think we're going. Oh, well, actually, I do know. We're going to Barbados.
Okay.
In January.
That'll be great.
So yeah, so that's nice. Yeah.
I love that. I like the 120 days. It's a good way to think about it.
Yeah. So we work like as soon as we get back with that week, that next 120 days, I'm full board.
Yep.
And then boom, then I take a break. And then we go forth from there.
Awesome. That's great. I like that. So you got a lot of good things going on.
Yeah, I've been definitely blessed. A lot of hard work, and just like I said, having the right team is essential. Because without my guys, I'm nothing.
Yep.
And having a great wife and partner at home, for me, is everything.
Totally.
Because she supports everything I do, and she's there, and that's a big deal.
I love it. So and you were nervous about coming on this podcast. What were you nervous about? This is a great conversation.
Yeah, it was.
This is awesome. So I love what you're doing. I love what you got going on, and keep doing it. This is great. I can't wait to hear how 2025 happens and with some of the goals and hitting them and hearing about the vacations.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
So as we wrap up today, let people know where they can find you online, your website, your social medias, so that if anybody wants to check you out and get an estimate on painting or hear more about how you've your growth mindset, they can.
Yeah. Well, it's Carfagno professionalpainting.com. You can find me on Facebook as Joe Carfagno Painting. And that's about it. You guys get all the information from my website.
Perfect.
And my Facebook page.
Excellent. Again, Joe, thanks for coming on today. This was a great chat.
Yeah, thank
and
you,
I look
Tom.
forward to continued success for you.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Awesome.